Long roping left, bring it on. I'm ready. Even against Kelly, which most likely will be his opponent in the upcoming round 4. And here we go, our 7-time world champ starting it off, Dino.
Well, it looks like there he goes, Kelly Slater. Nice big vertical off the top for the 7-time world champion, Kelly Slater, as he floats that midsection, blowing the tail completely around on that wave, Dave. That was a really nice third turn there from Kelly Slater.
Yeah. Oh, and right behind him, Hodei. Oh, too bad. Hodei looking for the tube from the start. Now he knows he's going to have to do something big to have a chance against Kelly. And, well, here in Mundaka, the tube rides have been scoring hugely, as we've seen from Joel Parkinson yesterday, the leader of our Nixon Tube Time Award. And here he comes again. I think it's going to be all action. We'll try and talk about the Tube Time Award later on.
Ooh, that was quite a awkward landing there for the 7-time world champion Kelly Slater. He looked like he, tried to pop in air, and that looked like a dangerous landing. What do you think about that, Dave?
I think it was, and I'm actually kind of surprised that Kelly would try something like that on a pretty insignificant wave. I mean, looks like he's just kind of maybe still trying to warm up, but trying a big backside 360 like that, especially with the offshore wind that we've seen in the heats yesterday, just blowing the boards out from under the guy's feet, that could be dangerous. Looked like the board flipped over. He kind of landed a little bit funky on the side, and I don't know, you wouldn't want to hurt yourself when you're gunning for your record-setting 8th world title.
And yeah, he's definitely got a lot on the line here as we're watching him in the round 3 here, where he's trying to keep up. It looks like
Hodei.
Ooh, nice floater there for the young wild card here as he pumps down line. Looks like his nerves could be getting to him there, Dave.
Could be. Well, I'm wondering too if the Billabong boys should have been telling him to paddle out and catch a few instead of having him here in the commentary booth with us 10 minutes before his heat. Maybe he should have paddled out and gotten in rhythm with the ocean a little bit. But yeah, Hodei Collazo, he's 96th in the world on the WQS right now. And here's Kelly once again. This is just nonstop. There's plenty of swell out there. So hopefully we'll be able to just stick to commentating wave action. How is that, Dino?
Rubber band, man.
I'll just do a little layback here.
He looks really comfortable, Kelly Slater, as he's, going through the early part of this heat. He just looks like he's just, getting warmed up. He's already has 3 waves, on his total here, as we've only, I think, been through about 4 minutes of the heat.
Yeah, we're 3 minutes into the heat. Kelly got a 6.0 on his first wave, a 1.0 on that backside 360 ollie attempt, a 3.83 on his last one. Hodei sitting on a 0.43 and a 2.0. So Slater with a 6. That's, so far a good result. We've seen people getting through with 6s and 7s all through the event, as the conditions are a little bit tricky. So the 6-point ride could be a keeper. We'll hope that it's not, because if it is a keeper, that means that Kelly really hasn't completely kicked into form. There you can see Kelly paddling against the rip, trying to stay on the peak. Still another hour of outgoing tide. He's kind of doing that bodyboarding flow rider thing that we saw Andy doing. There we go, Kelly Slater, current ranking first, highest career ranking first, 7 times. That's a record, just in case you didn't know.
And a whopping $1.4 million in career earnings on the ASP World Tour. He's definitely
not bad.
Earned some nice paychecks here.
Definitely. I think he earns a little bit more than that, though, every year just from his principal sponsor, Quicksilver. So the contest winnings are chump change, but a heck of a lot of chump change.
Yeah, if you think about it, he's one of the most dynamic athletes in the history of sports. Right alongside guys like Lance Armstrong and
Tiger Woods,
and the Formula One driver
Agassi, or Michael Schumacher.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, he's a 7-time world champion and bidding for his 8th world title.
Oh, and here's Hodei.
Oh man, there you go.
Almost came out of that.
That was one of those waves, Dave, that like we were talking about earlier, in conditions like this, if a freak wave comes in,
could change everything. If Hodei had come out of that, we could have been looking at our first excellent wave score of the day, and could have really changed the situation. Hodei right now needs a 7.83 to take the lead off of Kelly. He really has.
Well, he looks like
Has he broken his board?
As you're watching the shot of him, looks like he's got an issue here. It could be his board. Hopefully, he's not injured, Dave.
Well, there's not a whole, especially on low tide and with the new sandbank out here. There's really, these guys are pulling into 4-foot barrels in 1 to 2 feet of water there, so he could have easily gotten slammed down against the sandbar and shaken himself up a little bit. A 2.83. Here's the replay, Dino, from the water angle. See how close it is to coming out.
What a great angle here at on BillabongPro.com as you're watching him. Look at that barrel. He's just deep in that thing, and right there, looks like the foam ball swallowed him.
Yeah, just got eaten by that foam ball.
Had he have gotten one more pump, prior to that foam ball coming up underneath him, he might have been able to squeeze through that last section there.
Oh, yeah, he easily could have come out. Now, Kelly is sitting one next to the other in the lineup now. You'd have to think that Kelly has priority since Hodei took that last wave. But we're actually watching the screen in front of us, so our vision's about the same as yours. But that section, that barrel section, definitely turning on. And Kelly now a little set rolling in there, but both of them decided against it.
Well, it looks like they're going to pop up the land angle from that last barrel from the young Spanish wild card here.
Let's check it out again. Here we go. Look at this. Just free falls into the pit.
If you look at that section throw right there, if had he have pumped one more time, wow, he came through that section. It was hard to see on the side angle because the screen was real dark. But man, that was a really good opportunity
he almost pulled that thing off. And I wonder if he hit a little bit of cross chop in the barrel, or if the foam ball just came up from behind and pushed him off. But I mean, he was almost out of that second section and looking at the third.
Wow,
could have done it.
That could have been a really big missed opportunity for the young Spaniard there. That wave looked really makeable towards the end of that thing. He could have. Wow, that was
he could have really put some pressure on the 7-time world champion. The pressure is on Hodei. Hodei needing a 7.0 now.
Obviously it's a lot easier to sit up here and say that.
Say that exactly.
But it looked like. He did the hard work already on that one. That first section he came through, he was
a whisker away from making out of that thing. And you'd have to think, after looking at the scores that Parco got on his barrels yesterday, if Hodei made it out of that thing, it would have had to have been in the 8 to 10 point range.
Yeah, and I was pretty surprised how he got underneath the lip there, with the rip running out at the speed it is. It's really hard to maintain that position to be able to take off underneath the lip.
He free fell. Dropped his way down into the pit. I mean, his fins were fin-free takeoff there. Definitely committed in the most critical part of the wave. Once again, that was good for a 2.83. The judges gave him, a few points for making it through that first section anyways. So Hodei showing that he's not afraid and to mix it up with the 7-time world champ out of Florida. Well, quick shout out to some of the people on the net. If you do not speak English, there are a Spanish flag, a Portuguese flag, and a French flag. Of course, if you don't speak English, you might not understand what I'm saying, but click on the flags to get your native language. Once again, Billabong and Billabong.com bringing the WCT events to you in 4 languages: English, French, Spanish, and Portuguese. And speaking of Spanish, here's Hodei, Dino. See what he can do on that.
Oh, well, man.
Disappointing.
It's unfortunate for the young Spaniard. He keeps coming unglued off of his board here, and I think he's had some opportunities in this heat, Dave, to at least put a little pressure on Kelly. Although the heat is still, early days.
Yeah, we're only a third of the way through the heat. 20 minutes remaining in this one. Plenty of time. Here's Kelly.
Well, there goes Kelly in a what looks like a really nice tube, and
even Kelly couldn't make it out of it.
Yeah, it looks like he got clipped as well, right along the same section as
Hodei did. Yep. And apparently we're going to cut over. Oh, is this Kelly again? Well, just to prove to you how difficult the conditions out there, 2 backside tube ride attempts in a row from our 7-time world champ and went down on both of them. So not as easy and perfect as it looks. And we're going to cut over to our good buddy GT in 3, 2, 1. All right, well, no audio there. A few technical difficulties. That's all right. GT has enough cups of coffee, and we're going back to GT right now.
First deal of the day, moving a little slow. Had a barbecue last night, Snips. You know, a little few too many steaks on the barbecue. But anyways, good morning to everybody. An awesome, awesome day here. Day 10 of the waiting period. Mike, what do we have in store in terms of waves and swell conditions and that?
Well, we're stoked. The swell held in there overnight. It's been a rough morning. We had really high tide. We got really strong offshore winds again. But the swell's still in like the 3 to 4 foot range. First thing up this morning, you know, you got the big guns going. You got Kelly Slater in the water right now. Andy Irons coming up next. And once again, we had to wait for the tide. The rip was really strong, but we're really excited that the swell's left, and looks like another incredible day on deck here at Mundaka. The sun's out, and the sandbar's doing its thing right now. Really, really good at the moment.
Do you have an idea of kind of tidal times, how many heats you kind of expect to get through today?
Well, we're hoping to get through the end of this round, so we're down to the 9th round. You know, we have 9 heats to run today. That's our goal.
Hold on a minute. Hodei's up and riding, does a little floater right at the top. This stationary section up on top, the rip is going right through it. Hodei with another nice backside off the top, just trying to get busy in front of his Basque Country fans here, and you can hear them all light up. Whenever he catches a wave, he just, you know, kind of, the crowd just loses it. So in terms of, you hope to get through this whole round?
Yeah, we're hoping to get 9 heats done today, like I said, and then we're down to, you know, still probably a 2-day event. You know, 15 heats to go from there, the ninth round, quarters, semis, and finals. So we're chipping away at it here. We're stoked. The waves are still really good, and everyone's in pretty good spirits right now that the surf's doing its thing.
And swell expectation?
Another little swell on Thursday. It's a little bit too west of a direction for here at Mundaka, so we're hoping it squeaks in here. But the good news is that there is a swell on the forecast, so we're hoping it's in the head-high range, possibly overhead for Thursday and possibly finishing up on Friday. That's the plans right now, but it tends to change every day, so we look at those maps pretty close at night. So far, stoked. We're getting through it, you know.
So you're starting to sleep at night?
No, definitely not.
Well, like Steve said, the conditions are fun, and we do expect them to improve as the day goes through this kind of little tide zone. The water, I got to tell you, the water is warm. Even Snipsy's wearing, well, he always wears a full suit, but it's 5.5 to the last of yellow, but the water's warm. It's like 68, 69 degrees. It's awesome for a free surf. Let's get out there.
Yeah, it's pretty nice being around here. No complaints whatsoever, GT.
Okay, well, let's send it back to Dave Mailman and Dino Andino. And also, I got to give thumbs up to our brother Nick, who had to cut out and go home because he had another assignment to do. So we're going to miss you, Nick, but we got the next best thing in Dave and Dino. Here you go.
Well, thanks for that, GT, and that's true. We are missing dearly our good buddy Nick Carroll, who was in here for the beginning of the webcast. He thought that he could get that we'd be getting the contest over and done with a little bit earlier in the waiting period than is the case, but Nick had to leave us. And meanwhile, back at the beach, Dino, back with the action, a 5-5 on that last one of Hodei Collazo. He needs a 4-3-4. What are you thinking about this heat right now?
There's plenty of time remaining. It's 16 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this heat. Heat number 8 of round number 3. And Kelly Slater is leading the heat, but you know, the young wild card Hodei Collazo not needing much at all, only a 4.34.
Well, especially after his last wave of 5-5, he knows he can put a 4-3-4 on the board.
You know, yeah, that last wave he did a series, a couple nice snaps there, and you know, this is a tricky heat. Anything can happen here with plenty of time remaining, and you know, as you're watching the young, the wild card had to let go because Kelly Slater doesn't have priority, Dave.
But that means that Hodei is putting pressure on Kelly, because for Kelly to really take off and paddle for what's barely a shoulder-high wave means that maybe Hodei put a little fear in him.
Wow, you could see the current rushing out underneath Kelly's board there. You know, you got to think it's tons of fresh water coming through the river out into the lineup.
Look at how hard Hodei is paddling on screen just to stay on the peak and try and pick up one of the incoming set waves on that one.
Yeah, to all you spectators online, as you noticed, yellow, Hodei Collazo, up and riding on that wave and having to jump off his board because Kelly Slater did have priority, Dave, and Kelly Slater opting to use his priority on that, and that was a tricky maneuver there from Kelly.
So Kelly's going to put a little bit of pressure on Hodei, but to give you all an idea of what the judges are thinking this morning, that's a 5.0 last of red for Kelly Slater compared to Hodei's last wave of 5.5. So Kelly has already had a shot at 6 waves out there. His 2 wave scores a 6.0 and a 5.0. Hodei only needs a 5.51. So, Dina, you can't really be thinking that Kelly is on the top of his game right now.
Yeah, I think that he's really in form, but I think the conditions are very tricky. It's very hard to stay in the lineup as the tide is rushing out at a absolute crazy speed. And as you're watching the lineup there, and there's a beautiful shot of the spectators and media here at the 2006 Billabong Pro at Mundaka. Just, it's amazing how the crowd lines up here.
Ooh, and there goes Kelly once again. Now, you were just talking about the difficult conditions, Dino, and plenty of people writing in wondering why we're actually running heats when there is such conditions out in the lineup. Once again, we're about a half an hour off of the low tide, and there are big tidal swings out here. Well, let's look at Kelly decides he wants to get up and have a shot at this one. It was more really just moving himself around in the lineup. So we heard a little bit from Mike Parsons, but Dina, why don't you explain to the public out there why we are running right now?
Well, we have only so many days to run the event, and we've waited and waited and waited, and finally there is rideable conditions. And I think that Mike Parsons, along with the head judge and surfers rep, decided to run today at this time because we don't have much time to run this event, and the conditions, as you can see on Hodei Collazo's wave, they are contestable, and there are really good waves coming in. So we're trying to use as much opportunity as we're given here, and there's not that much time left, not that many days to run this event. We only have until Saturday to finish, and we want to get through round number 3 and hold back and wait for round number 4 through the quarters, finals, and semis.
Exactly. Yeah, you all have to keep in mind that Mundaka is greatly affected by the tides. We can basically only surf on the 3 hours of the outgoing to low tide and on the 3 to maybe 4 hours of the incoming from the low tide. So definitely, you can't just whip through a 16-round heat. And here's Kelly Slater.
Well, that was a pretty nice last maneuver for Kelly Slater.
Sure.
I mean, that wave he looked like he got in a rhythm on. He did a series of floaters and then finished with that upside down rock and roll floater. That could be a little difference in this heat. That we'll have to wait and see what that wave comes through at.
Well,
obviously, the judges will decide that, but it looked like a above average score for Kelly Slater.
Well, his last wave was a 5.0, and I thought that one was a bit more impressive. So we'll see if it was better than his first wave of 6, and if he will or not extend his lead over Hodei Collazo with 11 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Let's check out a replay. This was Hodei's 5.5. His backside floater.
Well, that
there.
was a really nice backside floater. He looked like he had a lot more confidence on that one. That one he turned a little underneath the lip, but nonetheless, still, great style and form here. As he that turn right there was really nice.
That was money.
He hooked that thing underneath the lip. Throwing tons of spray. Definite tricky conditions here as the tide is rushing out at a crazy speed. But, man, the kid definitely put some pressure on the 7-time world champion with that wave.
Yeah, big vertical backside reentry to finish it off.
Well, it looks like the judges didn't agree with us on that one.
Yeah,
They rewarded Kelly's wave with a 3.83 with 10 minutes and 44 seconds remaining.
Well, realistically, it was his last turn that was the big one, and the judges, they know that there's tubes out there. They've seen the scoring potential on a lot of waves, and they're just not going to throw down big scores for nothing. Here's Hodei once again.
Wow, what a beautiful looking wave! Big snap off the top, almost burying his nose on that one, Dave. And another snap off the top. This could,
can't
Definitely
do that.
could put some pressure on Kelly Slater. Those were a series of nice turns there.
Yeah, well, if he'd pulled that last one, that would have easily replaced his 2.83. As it is, it might replace it, but it's not going to be the 5.51 that Hodei wants. And thank you very much to some of our Spanish speakers writing in and telling us not to pronounce the H in Hodei's name, because otherwise it's the Spanish equivalent of the nastiest four-letter word in the English language, so don't want to offend anyone. So it's Hodei Collazo, if I've got that correct. Hodei Collazo. And is he Spanish or Basque? Well, you know, that's the big question. He comes from Zarautz, which is in the Basque country. So, but we won't go too far into the Basque or Spanish discussion because no one's ever happy with the way that turns out. But he is from Zarautz, which is in the Basque country in the northeastern corner of Spain. So, without being politically incorrect there. Well, Jules wants to know what we're doing when we're not talking. Do we ever take a chance to breathe? Well, that is kind of the name of the game here in internet commentary. We'd like to take a break every now and then. Maybe we'll add that to the commentary. Every now and then we'll have a 10-second zen, 10 seconds of silence. We'll bring that to you later. We don't want to stop talking during this heat with Slater and Collazo. 8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. A 3.63 on that last one of Hodei. So it's really too bad he didn't pull off that last re-entry, do you know?
Yeah, he might have bettered one of his scores for sure. But it was a question of whether he would have had the score or not. The wave didn't really allow much opportunity to do much, really, after those two turns.
So a little replay of Kelly's last wave,
well,
3.83.
Looks like Kelly on this one, nice big floater off the top there. As he rock and rolls down and into this next one, kind of just a little bump off that oncoming section. Not really committing to that turn. This is the money turn on this wave. As he went, just really threw it beyond vertical, kind of through the lip.
Got the tail drop. Perfect rock floater re-entry.
Kind of like a
Kelly,
late re-entry, as you can watch.
And Hodei forces Kelly to use his priority on this one.
Man, there you go. That's what we're expecting from the 7-time world champion. 3 vicious hacks off the top and a 4th one, and no delay off the bottom, and a 5th one, Dave. Kelly looking like he's getting his rhythm on this wave.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you'd have to think that would be Kelly's best wave of the heat so far. We'll see what the judges thought of it, but Hodei forcing Kelly to go on that one, really. I mean, the kid is putting a bit of pressure on the 7-time world champ.
Well, as you can see there, former world number 1, Andy Irons, hitting the water there real soon, as in about 7 minutes' time, his heat will be going out as he's bidding to keep into the world title race here.
Currently sitting 3rd in the world, of course, just a few hundred points behind Taj Burrow. 250 points more or less behind Taj. People asking, sending in a few questions about the world title race currently. Well, Kelly Slater is out in front. If he wins here in Mundaka, that would more or less seal the deal, giving him his 8th world title and the record for most WCT wins.
Well, there you go, Dave. There's the score coming through at 8.0 for Kelly Slater. Just annihilating that wave. That was the wave he was looking for, I think, the entire heat.
And Hodei now needs an 8.5. So there's 6 minutes remaining. Still plenty of time. He can catch probably has time to catch 2 waves. No jet ski assist yet today, as the conditions really aren't big enough to warrant that. And here's the replay of Kelly's 8.0.
Well, as you can see right here, he just snaps that turn right there. And, right into another one, twisting his upper body into this next turn, blasting the top, kind of rolling the windows up a little bit on that second turn, not really in control, but there, nonetheless, just going upside down again and again.
In a row.
Just
and a 4th for good measure.
Amazing technique and speed through that turn. Looked like he really committed to that first turn, and I think that's where they, generated that 8.0.
That's exactly it. That first turn. That's what the judges want to see. They're looking for the most radical maneuvers, the most critical part of the wave. And if you can, on your backhand, go straight. Oh, here he is once again. Let's see if he can replace his 6.0 now.
Well, it looks like this is a really interesting wave he got here. He picked this one off.
So after that 8-0, he left Hodei with priority, so Kelly forced to pick off the in-betweeners, which usually works pretty well for him.
Well, it looks like Dave is a set out the back. We'll have to wait and see what happens here. And as you remember yesterday, it hit a certain tide when on the bank where it turned on
firing
and got really hollow all of a sudden and makeable. So we'll wait and see here as the set hits the lineup here at Mundaka. But the youngster only needed an 8.5 as he's taking off right here, Dave.
And here he goes, trying to pig dog his way into this first one, having a hard time getting in the barrel there. Still a nice backhand snap. And once again, but Kelly could be nailing the nail into the coffin with this wave right behind him. Although Hodei getting vertical there. Nice motor out the back from Kelly. Kelly's still looking for the tube. If he can get a solid tube, he can probably end this heat right here. But I don't know, Dino. Couple floaters, and Hodei really went to town on that one. So don't know if it was good enough for an 8.5, but it'll definitely replace his 3.63.
Absolutely.
4 minutes remaining. Things are interesting here.
You got to think had of Hodei taking off on that wave and attacked that first turn instead of trying to get tubed, he might have been able to get the score on that wave. That wave was one of the better waves of the heat. But maybe we'll cue up the replay here. But
have a closer look at it.
He really didn't attack that first turn. He kind of tried to get tubed, never was really in the barrel, and then he passed up a whole section. And then, as the wave hit the bar on the inside, he started to unload. But I think at that point it was already, more or less only an average, scoring potential.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. Once again, Hodei was needing an 8.5. His two wave scores currently a 5.5 and a 3.63. So possibly replacing the 3.63. If he's lucky, replacing the 5.5. But as you said, Dino, yeah, that first section he was looking for the tube because, he's been watching this thing for the last over a week we've been here now. Is that right? Yeah, geez, we've been here 9 days already.
Yeah, we are getting...
and he's been watching for 9 days. Yes, we are getting through the event. By the end of the day today, once again, for everyone wondering what the program is, we should be through to the end of round 3 by the end of the day. Very little possibility, slim to none, that we will be running into round 4. So, okay, here's the replay of that one, Dino. Let's have a closer look at it in slow motion.
Yeah, as you can see this first section, it kind of looked like it was going to barrel here, and he stalled, dragging his left arm, trying to get in the tube, but never really getting underneath the lip. Had he have just went straight up on that first section and attacked, here he gets going. Nice little snap on the open face there as the youngster. Another snap and another snap, and finishing solid on that last turn. But
well, the judges ended up liking it, a 6.73 on that one, but a 6.33 for the last wave of Kelly Slater. So Hodei is still second with a 6.73 and a 5.5, now needing a 7.61. So basically, I think he's going to go back out the back, try and force Kelly to use his priority and look for another barrel.
Yeah, that first section could have been the difference on that wave.
Well, a 6.73. Imagine if he'd gotten a pit on that one. That could have just put him right in the spot where he wanted to be. But coulda, woulda, shoulda. Here's a replay of Kelly's last wave. It was a 6.33. So let's see what the difference was with Hodei. And here's Hodei, quick in and out.
Well, it looked like Hodei was, semi-throwing in the towel on that wave.
Yeah, well, Kelly let him have Kelly let him go on that one. Kelly is sitting with priority. There's 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining. Well, so as you watch pretty much. Here's the replay.
As you watch the replay, nice big floater there. Nice little airdrop from Kelly as he zips around this section and onto the open face here, and nice little snap off the top. Not really getting through the lip there, but nonetheless, great technique from the 7-time world champion Kelly Slater as he pumps around that section. And
kind of hard to tell from that boat angle if he actually managed to pull into the barrel there or not. It looked like he was trying to.
Yeah, I think he got one more floater off on the inside section. But nonetheless, looks like the 7-time world champion will be advancing into round number 4,
where he will be coming up against fellow Floridian Corey Lopez.
and you got to think Kelly Slater is, thinking, wow, okay, I got through that heat. That was a pretty tough heat with the conditions out there, with the tide rushing out at that speed. There is still some time left. Actually, it just ended that heat. So, to all you spectators online, we are moving into heat number